Hello, class. Thanks for tuning in to my discussion board this week on the Fundamentalist-Modernist controversy, William Jennings Bryan, and the Scopes trial. Newer forms of thought and science gave way to the rise of fundamentalism in the early 20th century. Fundamentalists were concerned about the distortion of truth, particularly the teachings found in the Bible. They were dedicated to defending what can be called the basics or fundamentals of the Christian faith from the hands of modernists. Among the issues they defended were the inerrancy of God's Word, the deity of Jesus as God's Son, and the reality of sin. To the fundamentalist, scientific theories like evolution undermined the sacred Scriptures, and according to historian Mark Knoll, they believed these new ideas would destroy the nation's Christian heritage. Among the fundamentalists were leaders such as William Jennings Bryan. A good example of the fundamentalist-modernist debate or controversy is the Scopes trial that occurred in Dayton, Tennessee. According to Dr. David Minton, for both William Jennings Bryan and defense attorney Clarence Darrow, the real issue wasn't John Scopes' guilt or innocence, but rather to answer the question of should evolution be taught as a fact in public schools. For modernists, this case was about education and leading students in the acquisition of truth through science and reasoning. For fundamentalists like William Jennings Bryan, it was about defending creationism and the absolute truth found in the Bible. According to an article that appeared in the New York Times prior to the start of the trial in 1925, Bryan arrived in Dayton and was met with cheerful crowds. Bryan exclaimed that this was the day he had been waiting for. He also made it clear that the Bible was on trial, as he told a crowd that the modernist would, quote, destroy the Bible on evidence that would not convict a habitual criminal of a misdemeanor, end quote. He also stated that, quote, the contest between evolution and Christianity is a duel to the death. If evolution wins in Dayton, Christianity goes. Not suddenly, of course, but gradually, for the two cannot stand together, end quote. I also came across an interesting article written by Christy Maddox at Michigan State University on the Scopes trial, specifically the approach taken by Bryan. According to Maddox, Bryan was not so much a fundamentalist as he was a populist. Throughout the trial, she points out that he exhibited a populist rhetoric, as he viewed himself as a defender of the common people. I would say she makes a valuable point, but one cannot deny his fundamentalist roots either. Maddox states that throughout his career, Bryan framed his opposition to evolution in populist terms, and this can be seen in various anti-evolution speeches. She also concludes that upon examining his speeches, one can see his basic populist framework as he defends the virtuous common people against the attacks of a dangerous intellectual elite, and two, as he defends the moral system that afforded the most promise for social progress, Christianity, against the evolutionary theory that threatened to undermine it. As one can see, the Scopes trial provides a good example of the fundamentalist-modernist controversy of the early 20th century. One can see this in the popular rhetoric of the day with leaders such as the fundamentalist populist William Jennings Bryan. He believed evolutionary theory would hurt the nation's common people and would result in a dangerous moral system that would lead to the destruction of America's Christian heritage. In his view, Darwin's theory of evolution threatened to undermine Christianity in America. It was harmful to society. Throughout this presentation, my goal was to adhere to the guidelines established by the Department of History at Liberty University, as historians must be objective and honest in their research and investigations. Thanks for watching. God bless.